Alrighty, first things first. Let me just say here and now that I can't do this analysis without giving away a few spoilers for the comics. I'm going to try to avoid this as much as possible, but to make my point, I will have to tell some of the story, so anyone who wishes to not hear anything about it, stop here. Just stop here. Okay, recently I got my hooves on some issues of the MLP comics, in particular issues 5 through 8, which touches upon how Luna became Nightmare Moon and shows how she acquired her Season 2 onward look. Now, let me say right off, I love the comics as a whole. The art's lovely, the story that I read felt like it could have been a genuine two-parter for the cartoon, and it was legitimately loyal to what I've come to expect in the colorful talking horses. However, as much as I enjoyed it, I couldn't help noticing some continuity issues in the issues. Damn puns. When Luna first appears in the comics, she's still in her Season 1 form and is clearly still depressed over her actions as Nightmare Moon. This indicates that it is prior to the episode Luna Eclipsed. Skipping over the story so as not to reveal too much, Luna is eventually forced to retreat after the elements of harmony are captured. She goes to Ponyville, where her sister is preparing for an inevitable attack. When the attack comes, Luna is unwilling to allow any pony else to fight what she considers to be her battle. However, her fear of being turned back into Nightmare Moon causes her to get her dark blue flank served to her on a silver platter. At this point, it is the citizens of Ponyville who come rushing to Luna's aid, proclaiming that they will protect their friend no matter what. As Luna really takes in the fact that every pony truly accepts her and forgives her for what has happened and that she is not alone, she awakens to the flowing starry mane that we know her to have nowadays. I'm not going any further than this because it's primarily this part I have the issue with. The very core of Luna's transformation contradicts everything we see in the episode Luna Eclipsed. While it is nice to have an explanation for the change at last, the way they went about creating it is one of the biggest plot holes that I've ever been party to witnessing. For the entirety of Luna Eclipse, we witness the citizens of Ponyville cower at the sight of Nightmare Moon, and Luna going to great lengths to win over the pony. As she clearly already has her changed look, we have to assume that it takes place after the events of the comics. But if that's the case, why would every pony be running from Luna in terror? They were the reason she awoke to her real form in the first place, so they, above all, know that she is not Nightmare Moon. And before we get into the kids wanting to be scared on Nightmare Night argument, let me just point out that it was really only the group of kids that Pinky was hanging out with for the night that were allowing themselves to be scared on purpose. The level of panic that happens in town with the rest of Ponyville's notoriously courageous residents is seen far too frequently during crisis events for me to believe that it was anything but genuine. In particular, Spike and Fluttershy's reactions bother me. Both are very comfortably seen working alongside the Princess of the Night in the comics. However, both blatantly refer to her as Nightmare Moon in the episode. While we're on the subject of inconsistency, let us speak of the Guardian of Dreams herself. Throughout Luna Eclipse, she's heard speaking in an archaic manner using terms such as thou and thee, as well as the 1,000-year-old royal voice as a means to convey her social awkwardness. However, in the comic, she does neither. Now, I can forgive dropping the royal voice, as that would be somewhat difficult to convey in comic format, but it probably would have been more believable if she had still used the older terminology. On top of that, in Luna Eclipse, she's trying her damnedest to become friends with the citizens of Ponyville, while in the comic, it is the ponies who assure her that they're her friends. On top of that, the inclusion of Rarity's Fire Ruby necklace would place the events sometime after Secret of My Excess. That takes place a number of episodes after Luna Eclipse, which is already in contention with the events of the comics. Just seriously? Maybe it comes from years of reading and writing myself, but I can't stand it when a storyline is inconsistent. The way they introduced Shining Armor and Cadence, two of my favorite characters by the way, already pushed the limits of what should be permissible. There was no prior mention or indication of either one, but as the timeline still stayed fairly consistent for the most part, I was able to hold my peace. This, however, is something else completely. Let me reiterate, I do like the comics. Fact is, either story alone is fantastic and completely fitting. Both together, however, just utterly jacks everything about Luna. Sorry, sorry, Hasbro, but you kinda really severely fucked this up. This is the sort of thing that separates good media from great media, so it's attention to details like this that cannot be glossed over. You know, before I probably would have completely overlooked this too. Now that I've taken a closer look at MLP and begun analyzing it, I can't help but see it. Theory Brony, past analysis, I blame you for this! I'm kidding, I'm totally joking. Go ahead and tell me how I'm looking way too deeply into this in the comments section below. This is Eliora saying Brony on.